Well, good morning. Welcome to Phoenix Business Exchange East End edition on this fine 23rd of July, 2025. 23rd of July. It's halfway through the summer months. And folks, we're just cruising at a wonderful 16 degrees Celsius. Maybe, according to Google, it says 27 at the top today. But, Google's been known to give me a fib here and there. But we won't hold it account to that. I'm going to share with you our Phoenix website, pbx.ca. And the scoop here is if you want to come to the meeting, come on in. It's pbex.ca. Member of the week, well, it's me. So self-aggrandizement. No. You want to know more about myself? Click here. I'm wearing a very quiet shirt in that particular video, and my e-card. So I'm getting involved with a lot of different things. One of them is the Knack for Business podcast, etc. But I'll save that for my intro later on. How now? 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time is when we host these meetings. One on Monday, that's the Bell's Corners group, Wednesday, today, and a Thursday. And you just click these buttons, come right into the Zoom. Thursday afternoon, starting August 7th, midday, we are starting a fourth chapter, and you're more than welcome to come on in. And if someone doesn't have a seat in there, let's say a mortgage broker or whatever, dentist, you can come on in. You can fill that gap. And on August 5th, we're doing the After Hours group, and it's at 7 p.m. And that's hosted by Penny Lee Prevo. So the purpose behind that is to stay on top of your tasks. It's not Penny Lee's not going to put you in a headlock and say, drink the water, but she's going to guide you and remind you have to do certain things. And that's like a good coaching session. East Trade wins every Tuesday. And you know what? Tony was there yesterday. We had a great turnout. Lots of people having a good chat. And we had about 22 people visiting that day. And so you get to meet more people. And you know what? If the nature of your business is to grow it, to make connections, there you go. Tuning in with Tony on Friday afternoons at 1:30 every Friday. Right into the Christmas season, right across the summer. Tony's there getting you that harmony with your headspace. And then you want some more harmony. He's also got something on July 30th at 7 p.m., sound bathing event. And then we have, the golf tournament. You guys aren't tired of hearing about the golf tournament, are you? Well, click here. For $88, you can do 9 holes you'll get a cart, all in support of the Canada Food Cupboard. Penny's got the Dance and Movement as Medicine with Nia classes on the go. Friends Friday Potluck. That doesn't mean show up with pot. That means food, right? And in person, so not online. And it's on August 8th at 6:30 p.m. South End Group. Now, remember I was talking about Thursdays? Well, tomorrow is Thursday, and tomorrow it's in person at 7:30 a.m. at the River Lounge. Click here to register. Let Tony know you're rolling in. Now, how do you get a hold of someone? You hear someone talking today and go, I want to talk to that person. You're looking from the outside in. You go to this website, you go to the QR directory, and you can find out who we are. You see the QR code over my shoulder? It's a quick and easy way to find any of us in the space. So you can find us, and we can go super quick. You're interested in joining? Hit the apply today button. It's the easy button of choice. And where are we going down here? We are now. I'm going to scooch up here. And what's been going on? Like, remember the QR code I was talking about? Well, we've used it 2,862 times a year to date this year. And what's going on in this particular space means that 2,862 times someone has scanned either the QR code or the link to find one of us. Business-wise, we've done over $4.9 million worth of business since January 2016. And a year-to-date, it's $130,755. By the way, if you haven't sent any of the stats to Tony, you got to send the stats to Tony. It doesn't have to be who you spent the money on inside the Phoenix Group, but that you spent the money inside the Phoenix Group. Just to show, it demonstrates to people there is business. And this is not just people that are by the way, I bought a candy bar. This is, it's transactions between members, but it also does not include transactions outside of the membership. So in other words, if I refer someone to Sam to do the breaks, then you know what? That's business that happens between Sam and that person, or Wendy. you buy a house through Wendy. Those numbers just jump nicely. Or Susan McGarry, because she's got Pure Trim products and so forth. Or better yet, Matt, he has a fireplace he can sell you. And I know this is the wrong season to talk about fireplaces, but you know what I mean. All right. And I'm going to stop share. And I'm going to swing over. We didn't discuss who's going to the Tony, the fickle finger of fate has just showed up. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, thanks, Bernie. One of the things I've seen is in interviews is some of the differences in what makes people successful. In other words, what sets people apart from those that are just making it through, just eking out a living, or they're doing well averagely, and some that are doing really extraordinarily well. Not only is it their motivation, is there other things, but there's a common denominator in how they speak, in how they relay their information when you talk to them. And you usually pick it up within the first 5 seconds of them speaking and the different things that they do. One of the things is that great people, these are people that are hugely successful. They're always working on stuff. They're always talking about ideas. So they sit down and he says, I got this idea of a concept of, and then they explain what the idea is. And shortly it's adopted, and then they work with it, and it gets successful. But then next thing you know, they're thinking about another idea. All right. Average people, they look at events, the things that are happening right now. I was at such and such an event there, and then we went to a family reunion, which is all fine and dandy, but everything that they relate has something to do with a moment of time. In other words, some present moment is like an event that you went to. So they're always talking about things that other people are doing in events. But the people that have the lowest income potential are the ones that talk about people. These are the gossipers. These are the people that talk about someone else. Oh, look at my neighbor. He bought a new boat. Oh, look at my neighbor. He's going away again this weekend. Wonder what he's doing all the time. Always talking about people. Whenever you have your energy and it goes out to someone else, indirectly, they're actually helping that person succeed, including if it's gossip, even if it's negative gossip. It's amazing when you hear of these gossips, and if those people that aren't really, affected by it, they'll just say, oh, well, it's one of those things. You only get criticized for what you do. But when you talk about people, be very careful that you're not looking at them as constantly, that is your main subject, about what other people are doing or what other people are thinking, should I do X, Y, Z? If I get married to this person, what will other people think? If I open up a business and leave my government job, what will other people think? Things like that. When people even approach me during a session and they have a government job and they want to get into business, the first thing that they'll say is, I'm not sure what my dad will say, because I'm leaving a very secure job with a pension to something that's self-employment sort of thing. I wonder what he would say. And so then there's a huge thing about that. So anyway, when we're looking at great people, they think of the future, all the concepts that could happen. When you're thinking of the moment, like right now, that there's no planning. One of the best things I have ever done in businesses is that I always had 2-3 years ahead of where my business would be. In the moving business, I had this vision that I would be, because whenever you're moving, there's a lot of time wasted on to and from the truck, all right? Whenever you're unloading, and if you're right at the house, that's the best. But there were a few jobs that we did that we were literally parked at the, got to be about 200, 300 feet. And so it was always that back and forth. We couldn't get any closer to the cottage or to the house they were driving in. It wasn't meant for a 5-ton truck to come in there with 10,000 pounds worth of weight, because that could be maybe their septic system was underneath that or something. There was always something. And so I had this vision of having a series of rollers. Those rollers that they have at the beer store where you put your bike and it just rolls down? And so if a person has like 300 boxes, which was the case in many big homes, I had this idea of having rollers all the way into the home from the truck, and this person would just throw the boxes, and it would just sort of roll down, and we wouldn't have to make the trip. So in my mind, that I had this going. So one time there was an auction, and they had these accordion type rollers, and these are something that was about 5 feet long, but you could stretch them out into about 20 feet. And they had about 11 of them. So that would be about 220 feet. And so nobody wanted them. So I picked the whole thing up for like, it was about $100. It's really good. But I didn't need it at the time, right? So we just started for when we needed it, and then when a job came up, all of a sudden we had this, and they were so impressed with the way we were set up. We had these rollers from the truck to the house, and seeing their boxes float along the lawn in next to the front door, well, you're just mesmerizing for them. And I always had that. So when you have these concepts of where your business would be, you bear that in mind because you're always thinking of your business in the future. And that's why our business grew so much. We went crazy. So always think of the your business in the future. What would you like to have happened? And then just bear that in mind. And then those opportunities will come up where you could capitalize on that. Okay. And the other thing about the sales itself, when you're thinking of the future, is most people, especially people that have the lowest income in their business, and they're just not doing very well at all. No matter what they do, there's always fear, there's always doubt, there's always things going on. They're so focused on the money. And, Will Smith said it so well when he said, I wish I could give everybody enough money that they could buy anything that they wanted. And it's only when you can do that. You can buy anything you want, write a check for a car, write anything you want. And when you have that opportunity that you can buy anything, that is when you'll know that money isn't the answer. Back to you, Bernie.
Okay, folks, and we're live on LinkedIn, and that is the connection that's in the chat to post your content, post your details, post some information about you, and share that information about you and upcoming events. And we're going to go round robin of, hey, what's happening in your day? What BAM's referrals have transpired? BAM's being business activity meetings. And the fickle finger of fate. We're going to start off with Kat, and then we will go to Matt. I didn't mean to rhyme it that way, but it worked out well. Sorry. Kat, over to you, ma'am.
I had a sneaking suspicion, Bernie, it was going to work like that, so don't worry. So I'm going to start with the negative. I haven't done any BAMs. I'm just back in the country, so I haven't met anybody. I will. I promise. I will do better. On the plus side, I have a new job title now. I am a fractional CMO, so Chief Marketing Officer. And what I will do now is I will go into businesses. I will set them up with strategies, tools, tips, and basically set them up for marketing, because as you all know, marketing your business is super stressful. It's super time consuming, and it's what do you do? Where do you do it? Why do you do it? How do you do it? All of these things go through your head. And as business owners, we all have a million and one things to do. So I'm now going to go into businesses, be their chief marketing officer, so that they don't have to sort all of this stuff out. Their marketing just works for them, and all they do is what they need to do. So if you know somebody who needs a marketing strategy that actually works for them, and their business is going to be seen, heard, and do what it's supposed to do, I would love to have a conversation with them and see how I can set them up on that road for success. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. And quick promo, if you know someone that is a photographer, likes taking pictures, whether it's portraits, weddings, any of that stuff, have them reach out to Penny Lee, because we are in need of someone who can picture that. And we're going to go to Matt, and then we're going to follow up next with Susan. Matt, over to you, sir.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Almost the end of July here. Holy smokes, time is flying by. It is hot out there. Actually, yesterday was actually probably the nicest day of the year. Totally enjoyed that. Wasn't super hot, and Yeah, it was enjoyable. I wish I was out in the water actually. But I am your full service HVAC company here. We are a local family run business in the city of Ottawa that has been here for 20 years, and we are ranked as one of the top HVAC companies in the city. We take care of your comfort in your home, either that be heating, cooling, the air that you breathe. We can help you out with many of those kinds of things. Um, if you know anybody that's in interest or has a dying air conditioner right now or is getting ready for the upcoming winter season, feel free to reach out to me and don't get caught in the cold or in this heat with broken down equipment. Give me a call. I can come out, help you get set up and get a new system in and keep you very comfortable. So if you or anybody you know is interested, please feel free to reach out. Matthew Ledard, Arizona HVAC Services, quality you can trust, guaranteed. As for BAMs, no BAMs recently with anybody from the group, so pretty slow on that front, but looking to hear from people or love to help somebody out too. So, Sam, I might be actually reaching out to you for my dad's vehicle. The van that you took care of last year, we'll have a look and see maybe it might be getting you to do some more stuff on that. So, thank you very much, everybody. Have a great day.
Matt, thank you so much. And just as an adjunct to Matt's conversation, when he comes out to visit, he'll point out other things about your house. Not whether your feng shui or the artwork looks real pretty or anything like that, but he'll point out key things about your infrastructure, your HVAC system, saying, "Oh, by the way, this is why this is structured this way." And sometimes it's stuff going, "I never knew that. I could do that," or "I need to look at that." So that's just a sidebar. And by the way, sponsorship golf tournament. We already got 4,500 in the bank in support of this effort, and it can start out at 250 and go up, and you can make a difference. All money, all net proceeds will go to the Canada Food Cupboard. Susan and is next, and then Sam. Susan, over to you, ma'am.
Sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to touch on the golf thing. I'm not sure if Arizona has already submitted theirs, but we will be registering a team, and I think Taylor is taking a sponsorship of at least of something in there. So, just wanted to
Awesome.
get you a heads up on that if it hasn't been done already.
It hasn't. Thank you. You'll be able to join Wendy as the foursomes that are out there swinging the clubs. It sounds like a night out, but it's yeah. Susan, talk quick before I say something else interesting.
Thank you so much, Bernie. That's awesome. I'm going to do like Kat, where I'm going to talk about my BAMs. I have one set up with Mike after this call for the golf tournament. I'm going to try now that I'm using joint miss, I can actually swing a golf club. Tony, thank you so much for this referral rock. He's now on his 8 jar of Cardio 9. Right. So yeah, that's huge. So thank you so much for that. And I delivered product to Eric, who's not here today, some shakes and some experience. But with that said, I wanted to touch real quick on joint mist. I've been doing a lot of vendoring events on the weekends and noticing people getting results using the mist. So if you know anyone who does golf, who boats, that likes to swim, that likes exercise, um, get them in touch with me to try a sample of the joint mist on them. Think of it like this: it's like natural little massagers that tell your body it's time to heal in that spot. And it's very fast acting. So Susan with Pure Trim, thank you so much. Bernie, back to you.
Susan, thank you. And Ad Hive, a place to meet. So if you're going to do a band with me, this will be kind of a central place in the Ottawa area. It's right off of Maitland, and it's good. Also, a good space to rent for an hour or for the day, office space, especially if you're going through any renovations. Mr. Sam, and then we're going to go to Wendy. Sam, over to you, sir.
Thank you, Bernie. Good morning, everyone. Happy Wednesday to each and every one of you. Sam's here at our cottage again in Port Stanley, fresh off our son's wedding on Sunday in Cambridge. And it was a heck of a good party. I think I'm still recovering, and I think both he and his new wife are still recovering. So it was a good time lots of lacrosse people at that one, both female lacrosse players and male lacrosse players attending. Anyway, let's see here. Sam stores connected cars, do dash cameras, electronics in cars, and then also do minor repairs. Since I've been here, I've got lots of, I think I feel good about it in some ways, yin and yang, like Tony has their symbol on his backdrop. That I've had 6 calls so far for work while I've been away, and unfortunately, some I couldn't get to. Only 2 of them weren't able to wait until I got back, but 4 of them are, which is very nice. So that's a compliment that they are willing to wait for me to get back from the cottage to do that work. So let's see here. BAMS wise, well, I contacted our son this morning to remind him to get a hold of Rahel, get that chat box onto my website. And Matt, thank you very much for the referral to your dad again. Glad to work on this car. Hopefully he can wait until I get back in town. If not, he can always drive it to Port Stanley. Sam's Doris, ConnectedCars.ca, today's mobile electronics without the cost of the vehicle, and a lot more.
Sam, thank you so much. Next quick promo is Mike Wolowski. If you need someone to stand in for you and the calendar aligns with his calendar and your time away, Mike will do that. He will represent you during your absence. And Wendy, then Tony, and then Brenda Lee. Wendy, over to you, ma'am.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone, and happy Wednesday. Wendy Chung, real estate broker with Century 21 Synergy and the Ottawa Housing Condo Group. I'm here to help people make the right move and to support them in their journey, either to buy or sell or to rent or to find tenants. So if you know of anybody that's looking for some assistance, I'd be more than happy to have that conversation. I get very involved with my clients, and sometimes that's a good thing, sometimes that's not the best thing, but I care a lot about people. So I don't take on every single person that I meet that has a real estate need, because I have to be sure, and they have to be sure, that we make the right fit. So we oftentimes get very personal with each other, because it is, for me, a personal thing to help people to be able to realize what their goals are. In terms of BAM, Tony and I had a short little BAM yesterday. Tony gave me a referral. I'm helping his mom through her journey of selling her condo. So thank you very much, Tony, for your confidence. I also have ongoing business with Susan S., Matt Ladard as well. Brenda Lee, I've got some items for you very, very soon that are going to be very helpful for your organization. And I'm always asking my clients who are downsizing and purging what they have, because I know that the landfill is full and there's a lot of people out there that need items. So I'm really trying to just put people together. So yeah, everyone have a good week, and nice to see everyone here this morning. Thank you.
Wendy, thank you so much. And I just posted while Wendy was saying, hey, by the way, that we're also looking for somebody that can do upholstery work on furniture. So if you know somebody that is in that industry or even cleaning, let Penny Lee know. And let's see, we're going to bounce to Tony and then Brenda Lee. Tony, over to you, sir.
Thank you, Bernie. There's so many buttons here. Okay. Hi, everybody. Tony Jennis from Hire Self. Just before we get started, just a sort of a continuation of what Bernie was going through with the people that we're looking for. We're always also looking for movers, electricians, a lot of trades, landscapers, a stager, interior decorator, decor person, and carpet cleaning. All right. So if you know somebody that do those things, let us know. Okay. Also, yeah, looking forward to getting the pictures done. I think the photographer is coming tomorrow for my mom's condo for Wendy, and she's gonna sort of make sure that happens. This is a stressful time for my mom because she's a minimalist, you know, and it's still very overwhelming for her. So. looking forward to getting that done, because once that is done, then she'll be moving in with us, and then she'll be with the family. So Wendy is an integral part in our plan to bring Mom to us, in the sense that she will be with family all the time, not all by herself all week, sort of thing. Ongoing business with Eric Senego. Penny Lee had a BAM with her, and Rial is still working on more stuff on our website for the bot. And ongoing sort of business with Kat and Brenda Lee. We might be able to help you with some of that stuff. If you could put your address also as details, so if people do want to drop it off at your home or whatever other depot that we can, that would be helpful as well. Okay, I'll probably need your address as well. So anyway, Tony Jennis from Higher Self. I'm a medium, clairvoyant, as you all know, and I love doing those things because it gets right to the core and to the heart of really what's going on with people. When people they feel off, I sort of feel what they're going through, and equate that already in a solution energy mode. Whether it's a business, because a business is a person that is energetically has its own intelligence, and if you just let your business grow, it will grow on its own, unless you overthink things and you counteract it, then it slows down the growth. But every business has an intelligence, and it grows on its own. We just need to know where to put the stimulus in that way. If you're going forward with love and with certainty, the business thrives. It just goes crazy. If it's full of fear, hesitation, not sure what to do, what marketing I do, it just counteracts it, and it knows where to go. You need to just follow the signs, all right? And on the July 30th, I'm having my next sound bath event. You can do it online. You don't even have to leave your home. And it's going to be massive. I've got some great plans, or Spirit has great plans for me to do. They've always giving me something to do. And it's going to be wonderful. There's an eclipse happening on the 2nd of August, I believe. And that's a huge influx of energy. And this will sort of set that up where you can get through that in a smooth way. So if you want some information about it, let me know, and we'll get you registered and do it through your home. You just gotta make sure you have a good speaker and or earbuds, headphones, that kind of thing, so you can hear the sounds better. And looking forward to having some of you there. Tony Jennis from Higher Self. We are here to raise your spirits.
Oh, Tony, thank you so much. And East Trade Winds, if you want to attend, that is the Zoom registration link. It's good right up into December. And sign on up. You don't have to come every week. You can come once in a while. That's all good. And you know what, Brenda Lee, tell us a story. Tell us what's up.
Tell you a story. Hi there, Brenda Lee here. We're from Earth Angels Outreach. We have a group here of people that collect donations for the homeless, necessary items, people that are living in the streets. We help support self-funded outreach groups, along with ourselves teaming up with 3 other groups. And we've been, luckily enough, we've gone downtown to do some outreach. The one group has food and water, and we have clothing. We all have our little wagons, and we fill up our wagons, and we go downtown on George Street and around the corner and up Rideau. And by the time we do that block, we're pretty much empty. So, but we're making connections. We're talking with people, and I have a little story to tell you. So was making cookies, and I put these little stickers on them. I don't know if you can see that, the little sticker on each individual one, cookies, and then they're all individually wrapped. And somebody asked me 2 weeks ago, within the last 2 weeks, does it make a difference, the little stickers? I said, I'm not sure, but I said it makes me happy. It raises my vibration. And just seeing all the little stickers and all the cookies, 9 dozen cookies. And anyway, so I went out 2 weeks ago and, handed out cookies, had conversations, and even some people that said no to the sweets when they found out they were homemade. they're like, oh, what do you got? So I was so lucky, fortunate. Last Sunday we went out as a group again, and the one man, he came up and he's like, oh, your cookies were really good last time, and I'm like, oh, good for you. I'm glad you like them. Thanks. And then he's looking in the basket and seeing what I had, and I had date squares and chocolate zucchini cake. So he said, oh, I'd like a date square if that's okay. And I said, absolutely. And he said, so yeah, they're starting to recognize, even like, oh, this is my second visit, in 2 weeks, and they're starting to recognize me already. And I think it's because of the sweet treats. So Brenda Lee from Earth Angels Outreach. And yes, and I have, it's things that, one thing that I'd like to make note of is everything that the people have that are in the streets. It's pretty much what they can carry. So, backpacks and clothing, and we did a blitz with summer clothing, and runners. I noticed sneakers are in high demand. We have a man out there in his bare feet, size 13 shoes. So, or size 10, there's a need for those. So that's the bigger size men's sneakers. There's a need. But anyways, thank you very much. And Brenda Lee from Earth Angels Outreach. Have a great day.
Brenda Lee, thank you so much. And I'm glad you're doing the service for those folks, because it's it helps them. So Carl Richards got a podcast boot camp rolling up on the 29th next week from 10 to 1 p.m. If you're so inclined, go ahead and show up and be a part of that community. So I'm also doing the presentation today, so I'm just going to put in my contact details in the chat. You're going to kind of you can kind of see what is going on in that particular space. The Knack for Business podcast is kind of a primary thing, and that has gone it's been going really, really, really well. We're getting like 104,000 downloads since March of 2025, so it's propagating really well. And so what I'm going to do is since I'm doing the presentation, I'm just going to swap out my screens here and share with you the presentation that's coming up. And you should see something right now, and hopefully it shows up well. And it's about the creative journey that's going on. And so guess what? It's about podcasting, right? At least it's not golf this time, right? So do people hear your story? Do people get to know you? Do they understand it? We do our round robin of what we're doing. If you notice in my chat, for example, Rael did a podcast with me, and so I also put his podcast link in the chat. I released it prematurely last week because it hadn't popped out. I released one a day type thing, and there's an example of what the Knack for Business podcast is all about. It's pushing out that content, and it's not just. There's a story behind it. What's the journey? Like when we're doing our meetings here, we know we have a finite time to say hi, and if we go too long, people's eyes will start to glaze over, or they'll get involved in something else on their desktop, etc., or they'll get amused by their fingers, whatever the case might be. You have to have that story that comes in and helps them out. So what does that mean? Well, the podcast is part of a funnel, and it's part of a sales funnel. You're providing a hook. What makes this interesting to somebody? What appeals to them? If you have a dead AC unit, Matt's going to appeal to you real fast, and if Matt can fix that in the same day, I might be pushing it, but if Matt can do that the same day, that is a massive hook. Right. And so knowing that Matt is there is truly, truly the kind of the key. What differentiates when you're having a podcast? It's a platform that helps you push out content information that people get to know you ahead of time, or either in need or later on going, hang on, I know about this person. Right. Or Wendy's going to, is looking for someone to buy a home or to sell their house. Right, knowing that person is there, so it removes the cold call effect. Because if you already have something in mind, like if I know right now If I had a brake issue, I know who I want to talk to. Are there other competent people in the city? Absolutely, but Sam is my go-to because I'm confident. I've done work with him before, so we've already formed part of that funnel, right? So engagement. So now that they get to know you, all right, now it's what we're doing, like we're doing inside this meeting, the Phoenix meeting. It's about engaging people, getting to know them, understanding it, knowing that the pure term product has something for joints, whether it's diet, whether it's hair, hair management, and helping you have a hairier head, I guess. I don't seem to have that problem, but that's just au naturel for me. But you know what? That's the engagement. That's the middle of the funnel. That's where you start to, people understand what's going on. All right. Next one, conversation, conversion, bottom of the funnel. So this is where all of a sudden you go, now I have that need, and now I know where to go in that direction. So the podcast already kind of sets that stage up. In fact, even all the content of the podcast can be repurposed at a later point in time. We had at East Trade Winds yesterday, we had a gentleman, all he does is he finds people that go, you don't want to do a podcast, but you want to be on podcast to promote your product. He says, when you end up getting that information, you have about at least minimally 7 things you can do with that. I mean, you can echo the podcast through your normal social media channels. That's where you find Cat and you go, I'll take that. Or I'll take portions of that and push it out. You can have favorite tips, right? Like Brenda Lee's talking about the story about, in the need of a size 13 shoes for some homeless gent downtown, right? That brings a context. Why are the shoes important, right? What's the reality? The other kind of key thing is also the call to action that comes into place, right? So if I'm donating something, if the call to action is call before your furnace fails, not when it fails. Well, obviously call when it fails, but call beforehand. A little preventative medicine always helps. Retention, referral, and beyond the funnel. So the podcast becomes a vehicle that it sticks with people. It's like this meeting. We'll go away in about say about 20 minutes. We'll be out of here. We'll be into other things and doing other elements, but the podcast will stay. It's like a stone. Once it's in the internet, once it's out in the wild, it's out there, right? So you can always refer back to it. So if you're doing, again, marketing, you're showcasing something, there it is. You can always point back to it. You can always use it again. You can not regurgitate, but you recycle it or recirculate it, right? It's like, this is the standard means, it's wintertime, change your snow tires, right? Or put the snow tires on, I should say. Change them if they're bald. It's kind of important at that point in time. So what makes it work? Well, you're not selling, you're connecting. And that's the key. Out of all the 350 podcasts that have been posted, one of the strong elements is, are you selling to me? Are you pitching me? Hey, do you want to buy a watch? It's as opposed to, listen, I procure fine watches, and let me know if you're interested someday. By the way, here's my pet poodle, and here's the story. Like, maybe I have someone in the household that plays lacrosse. Right? You're getting to know people, and this is part of that process. So, if you're thinking this all sounds really great, and what does it all mean? Why is Bernie talking about this? Well, I'm telling you a story, right? And the idea is I'm bringing you closer to me, and look deeply into my eyes. I'm joking, don't do that. Hang on. There we go. One of the things I've realized is that the podcast vehicle can help promote your business. It can help generate business for you. And we're offering a service where Creative Insight through Knack for Business can either push out a podcast with our brand on it, or you know what, if you want to try it and dip your toes in it, and then maybe take Carl's course, right? And just understand what are the mechanics behind it. Even if you want to start up your own podcast, open for a conversation to help you guide that path. If you want to do a podcast, normally I sat back, my co-host Wayne Pratt, he said, well, how much is the doggy in the window to do a podcast? If I'm doing it where I'm getting paid, plus my expenses, it's about 500. For this group, easily do it for 300, easily, right? And it'll become part and parcel. So that's my sales pitch, but that's the call to action, right? So when you are finished your talk, what is the call to action? So that's the other key piece out of all of these stories that you're going to tell people, right? In the case of wintertime, it's get the tires changed soon, right? Or in the case of Cat, is the social media working for you? Can you do it yourself? Yeah. Do you have the time for it? No. There you go. There's your call to action. And with that, I am going to stop share and take any questions that you guys might have. Flabbergasted, I can tell. Listen, I'm going to share another screen with you, and just to give you a showcase what's happened. So one of the things we did, we worked with a company that uses AI to help doing the promotions of content. So I'm going to share and show you the impact that it's had. You should be seeing a screen that's a Buzzsprout screen. We started off in September 2022. That's season 1, episode 1. And all of a sudden, we cruised along here, and then we hit around 3,000 downloads. And, it's growing. It's good. And all of a sudden, we have the hockey stick moment that's happening. And then in December, I chatted with this guy, and he says, listen, we can help expand your downloads. I said, okay. So we turned on the tap. So we were going to have a meeting in December. His kid was sick, so we had to skip the meeting. Then my kid was sick, and then we didn't meet again till about February. And I'm going, what the heck's happening? Why am I at 10,000? Like, what finger did I pull in my body to make that happen, right? Well, let's rinse and repeat that monster, right? And then we finally met in March. And so in March, what was happening was I was at 12,000 downloads already. And I'm going, this is good. And so we had a chat. And I'm going to share another screen with you. And so right now, last week, we're at 7,630 downloads, 104,000 downloads. And that's all since March 18th. All right. I get top country. Most popular time is 8 to 9. Hey, whatever the case might be. And to give you a sense of what's happening behind the scenes, there's the downloads, 373 downloads today. So that's, since this morning. I release about one a week. So, lead smarter, not harder. It's going out 3 downloads since 8 o'clock this morning. 7,000 in the last 7 days. Most popular one. This lady's out of Chelsea, Quebec, and she's got 3,500 downloads. Right, and she's talking. And these aren't all in the same category. These aren't all like, this is about podcasting. This one's about broken trust, broken communities, smart space, the Ad Hive story, right? Which is interesting because most of these downloads are showing up in the US. We can distinguish between Spotify, Apple Podcasts, time of day, locations. We're showing up everywhere. US obviously is the bigger contributor. UK, so if we reach there, Australia, so we're out with the kangaroos. There's one in Bulgaria that showed up on one of these heat maps, and I'm going, Bulgaria, just one though. So someone must have been traveling. And so this kind of gives you a sense of like where it is on the map that we're doing. And again, that's the number of downloads. And this is all since, again, March 18th, right? So these are people connecting. Finland, skiing country, I guess. Deutschland, Singapore, Brazil, India, Belgium, right? And so if your market clients are sitting inside that space, right, potentially. Now, Sam, I know you're not going to change tires in Singapore. I know you're not going there. You probably do a road trip. You probably do a road trip if someone's covering the cost. But they really got to love you then, right? That all said, that is the level of push, level of reach, right? And once you start getting out into that space, it announces your presence, right? And there might be a client out there because you never know where the client's going to come from next.
So Bernie, what is Simplecast doing that the others are not doing? Because yeah, it's quite a nice jump. Are
Yep.
they just connected to more
Yes. So the company I deal with is called Jamex.
Jamex?
And yeah, I'll send you a link, or I can
Oh,
do an intro. So if
okay.
you're in the podcast space, I will do the cross connect. They're looking for content. They're marketing their content. They're leveraging AI. They put ads in and around the podcast. They're looking for 30 to 45-minute segments. In this case, I hit a sweet spot. I talk to different people, talk about their businesses, and they're trying to find that fit where it's a good slice of the pie. And there is an affiliation attached to it too. So if you sign up with them, an affiliation means you get a percentage, you get a commission at no cost to the person, typically. And the other handy thing is, like, we're about to enter into season 4. So I'm continuously going, okay, what tool, now that I've got one pattern of behavior done, like I use Descript heavily. Descript is a piece of software that takes, you want to do the East Trade Winds, for example. Wayne will do is a motivational minute. I actually take it, peel it out, strip the background out there. Wayne has a talking head. In fact, you know what? It's only a minute long. So let me surface it. And yeah, there it is. And just to show you that, I take it, like, Wayne's got his normal background. It's a meeting. I capture it on Zoom end to end. And I have some speakers that are involved. And in fact, you'll find that Mark Hayward, if you go into the YouTube collection, you'll see Mark Hayward talking about what's involved to be a guest. Like, what are the key what are the key elements? So here I'm going to quickly share again, and I can make sure I turn on the sound though. Media player, hit that. You should be looking at something.
Welcome to Motivate You Coaching, a motivational minute with Wayne Pratt.
Today, I'm actually talking about one of the components of coaching that is the most work, and that is accountability. And here's the neat thing. If you want to 10x your results, you do it by having an accountability buddy. I'm here to tell you that obviously I think the coach is the best accountability buddy. If you don't want to coach, you need someone. Now, here's what you need from an accountability buddy. Should not be a spouse, honest. Second, your best friend may not be the best choice because he may not be able to tell you the hard things because he doesn't want to hurt your feelings. So have someone who has skin in the game. The third thing, he's also accountable to you, and that will work a lot better. So have an accountability buddy. Meet them often. Be honest with them, listen to them, and then deliver your results. I hope that puts 60 seconds worth of value in your motivated minute.
To book a time with Wayne, scan this QR code or go to his website, motivateyou.ca, where the advice is good or your money back.
So two things to show you here. What I'm leveraging here is there's a larger recording. So this could have been a part of a podcast. You can slice and dice it, right? Frame it. This one is fairly easy for me to do because the intro and extra are always the same thing, right? There's nothing, and just, Wayne's got his piece to do in the middle. I listen to it and I go, okay, the ums and the ahs are gone, and any of the air gaps that are, a little too long, or if he does something odd with phrasing, I'll go in there and tidy it up. Key elements out of this is that's a minute to push out. So you can put it on his Facebook, you can put it on his LinkedIn, right? So again, it's the slice and dice, right? And he's got a library of it now. So that's, again, I'm circling back. I figured it was safe to use Wayne. I could have done the other one, but they're 10 minutes long, and we're at 8:54. And look deeply into my eyes is not the scenario I'm trying to work in here. All right. So it's that element. Also, we're adding other elements into what we're doing in the processing. So the script, other pieces of software. Just sign up for something that'll help to jazz up the YouTube component, right? Because it's, how do I leverage? I use AI a lot. The Chat GPT. I have a prompt that's pre-built out, and I'm going, okay, here we go. Here are all the markers. Here's the unique stuff about the story. Run it through the system. Make it so that it's the call to actions there. Make it sure that it's simple, clear. You ever have that moment when you're writing something, oh, that's perfectly clear, right? 2 days later, I'm going, what the Sam Hill was I doing? Sorry, Sam. Not that Sam has a hill, but what the heck was I thinking, right? And that's where you have it's like kind of the outside eye, right? And it does not take away from folks like Kat who come in and help you. I'll use AI to figure out household projects, but it doesn't take away from Matt from coming in and saying, oh, by the way, the furnace does this. This is our compliance here in the province of Ontario, or with Wendy, or the housing, right? So again, I'm rolling it back towards the podcast. It just brings back the attention to people, and this is the tools of the trade. And I'm going to stop there at 8:56. So the quote for the day is, the obstacle in the way becomes the way. And that's Marcus Aurelius. He's a busy Roman, that guy. He's busy.
Wasn't he, though?
Lots of quotes.
And he still had time to fraternize with women,
Well, that could be a healthy thing. Yeah.
That's true.